Hello and welcome everyone to Devlog number 12. We're gonna ignore the title for now. More information about that at the following timestamp. But let's jump straight into the quite large changes. I've optimized the tiles a bit. Beforehand I had air tiles as a scene, but I changed them to being null instead. That originally broke the fancy tiles for the roofs, but I fixed that now. But let me show you something fun. We zoom in. Yeah, a lot of build fixes to do. Also ignore the different map layout, we'll talk about it later. I said ignore it. A bit of optimization. I changed almost 400 non-static typing variables and functions. Script function started at around 0.36 milliseconds and now it's down to 0.31 milliseconds, so a noticeable increase. Changing the physics tick rate makes the game run smoother since it does more updates per frame. Or per second, more correct. It doesn't really affect this game before the player speed gets ridiculously high. You also notice increased loading times. But that is because the map is 4 times larger now. So let's get into the new map, shall we? Welcome to Noobyard, the new 4 times larger map. Let me give you a tour. We start in the city with a few houses. On the top northwestern peak we find a fishing hut and some fishing spots. This house here has access to rat-filled basement and cave. There is some jellies and ore rocks down here as well. The guide's house, the blacksmith's house, as well as a larger house for the farmer. For fun, you can climb to the roof of this house. Bit of a time skip here as I went down the changes rabbit hole to get the training dummies to show up, but now they work for both as spawnable by the server while added to the map. It also now tells you how much damage you deal to them. To the north outside of town is the quarry, with the most ore rocks on the map. Continue east to get into the wolf territory. Some more fishing spots around the lake with a small island in the center. Tiny bridge, 3 circles in the center of the map, and to the west is the Frog Peninsula. Over a separate island you can see a quite large mansion with no obvious way to access it. Behind the Fang Mountains is a little idyllic resource gathering area with trees, ore rocks and fishing spot. Inside the mountains are more wolves and bats, and a hole leading into the Goblin Caverns. Caverns sprawl around and can even lead to the spawn of hunger. There's one more way to go. Ladder up into the isolated island and its mansion. Quite happy with hold that thought. I did some adjustment to the map, and we have a few more areas to explore now. First, improve the edge of the mountains, you can find the entrance easier. Then I added another ladder so you can actually walk on top of the mountain and fight some more creatures. Quite happy with this map so far, and I hope you want to explore it yourself one day. Smart enemies now move while the player move. That was an interesting bug, but now the player can quite easily get flooded. You can now throw items over edges. Can't throw them up on operations yet, and not sure I will implement it this time. The viewport can now scale with window size, so people playing on larger monitors can no longer get a view advantage. Say hello to the 3 new NPCs, the Druid, the Monk and Riley. The Druid and Monk will heal you when you are below 65% health when you talk to them. You need to find the Druid, of course. Riley here is a resource trader. She will sell you all the tools you need, as well as buy resources of you that you acquire. The Monk isn't that difficult to find since I had a church for him. Fix the minimap to work with the new map, and change the player icon to a white square to be more visible. I believe players will be slightly disappointed when they kill the hardest enemy in the game and it drops a wolf corpse. They probably wanted a bit more than a meat club for that challenge. Easy fix, I just hadn't updated the corpse pattern spawn of hunger. Oops. And the inventory's broken again. encyclopedia pictures got messed up by sharing the animation sheets, and also the spacing for the buttons are gone. But that's now fixed, after a bunch of tinkering to get the values correct in the Atlas texture. Also added the 2 enemies that were added after the encyclopedia update. Can you spot them? Someday the inventory will stop breaking. But when? Anyhow, it works as it should again. It's a very happy accident. I had a major issue with the client timing out because of the larger map taking too long to load. But I for fun made a loading screen that I needed to process a frame to update the loading bar. That processed frame actually allows the client to keep its connection to the server. I'm so happy. And now I can also make it look fancier. Added some tips and fun bits of dialogue during the loading screen. The loading screen also blocks the player from pressing anything while Antiqa load. So that's a plus. Thought I was done for this month, but I changed the loading screen slightly. It's also percentage loaded. For fun. That's gonna be it for all the updates in this devlog, so let's actually bring up the elephant in the room. You all probably saw the title of this video. Third LAST Antiqa devlog. Quite ominous, but let me explain. I have come to the realization that I actually would like to release a game. Therefore, I will shift my focus in 2026 to a more realistic game project. Hopefully will also be released in the end of 2026. But what does that mean for Antiqa? Well, I will put it in the backlog and perhaps return to it after the new project, or I will just take what I've learned and apply it to other projects. It's too early to say. But before I click away in disappointment, the final thing I want to do with Antiqa is actually make it playable for you guys. Which means my focus will be on getting Antiqa into a state where I can set up a server and have it run for a while, so you guys can try it out. The plan is to get the server up and running in the start of next year and run for 2 to 4 weeks, and it will be entirely free. I hope that will make it up to you guys. More information about how you can download and play Antiqa will come in the next devlog, as well as information about the new project. Anyhow, thank you all so very much for watching. Until next time. See ya.